Hey, my massage therapy crowd. Okay, so today we're going to talk about tendons. Now, the very simple definition of a tendon is a type of, I would say, combined connective tissue that attaches muscle into bone. But to be completely honest, it's not that simple. So I can make it simple by drawing my famous picture. Now, let's look at myo. I always like to write roots and such over here. Roots of words really help you understand what the word means. So myo means muscle. And then we're going to do a couple more in this little talk. Endo means within. Epi means upon. O-P-O-N. Peri, P-E-R-I, means around. Okay, so let's look at these tendons. Now, if you look at a muscle, I always get a nice little drawing that looks like this, right? Not all muscles are created equal, so let's look at, this is a tendon here, and this is a tendon here. But structurally, when we were made, what's fascinating about tendons is that they don't just connect muscle into bone. That would be creating a weakness at areas. And in fact, this is kind of a delicate, weaker area. In fact, both places where we call the musculotendinous juncture, or junction, let's be here. So tendons are attaching muscle into bone, but let's use those roots and those knowledge of roots, and let's look at what really makes up a tendon. Now we'll start big and go small. Let's start small and go big. So muscles, in all of their beauty and glory, are usually striped looking, right? So I'll draw those stripes in black. And from small to big, let's start with green here. We have a small wrapping of each muscle fiber, and we call that, let's go one, the endomysium. All right, so this endomysium is actually going to continue on, and it wraps, each endomysium is going to wrap each muscle cell. So I hope that helps a little bit. Now that's smallest. Now sometimes, all the time, but we often will wrap, and I can't give you the three-dimensional view because I'm a one-dimensional drawer, but if we cut our muscles in half and looked at them this way, we actually have little bundles of fibers called fascicles, and those fascicles are wrapped in, let's do blue, each fascicle or bundle is wrapped in this blue one here. That's a bundle of, this is 2 perimysium. Peri means around. So we have endomysium, the small, each individual muscle fibers. Peri means wrapping each group of muscle fibers. So we would have multiple groups of muscle fibers. You can see in blue. I'm a terrible drawer at this point. And then if we take and we wrap the entire muscle in what's called the epimysium, and I've run out of colors, have I not? No, I got red here. So each muscle now is wrapped in the final portion of what makes up the tendon, and that is called the epimysium. And I hope this helps because each of these 3 types of connective tissue actually become a tendon. And I find that to be fascinating. In fact, it really opened my eyes to understanding how absolutely amazingly efficient the body is. We don't have a stop and then muscle connects into bone. We actually have a continuous, colorful, beautiful collection of connective tissue that become a tendon. And I want to tell you one more thing before I go. We don't just abruptly attach into attach into bone. In fact, muscles often have multiple places, kind of a new bit of research, but basically all three of these will even at times, this is fascinating, because the body itself, each muscle itself, and we're wrapped in fascia. That's a type of loose connective tissue. Anyway, we will see that these connective tissue will kind of jut off and attach into multiple places on the bone. So we don't just have one attachment spot via the tendon. The tendon will come in, and I'll show you with my hands, will actually seat itself into what's called the periosteum. Periosteum, again, there's that root peri, the periosteum, that's a U, and then that's an M. Periosteum is what, it's a covering around the os, which is bone. And the periosteum looks like this. It is, again, it's a mesh-like connective tissue that covers bone, and the tendon and all these wrappings are going to come in and form a very almost unbelievably strong attachment into bone that I've even found in cadavers that you can't even pull that muscle away from the bone because of that mesh into mesh. So we don't just have this abrupt stop, we don't just have this abrupt stop into bone, so which makes tendons very strong. 1,000 foot-pounds of force, 10,000 foot-pounds of force can be, especially linearly, can be absorbed by these tendons. Fascinating structure. So hope you learned a lot about tendons, a lot of big words, but really better understanding of tendons. It's not just attaching muscle to bone, a lot more to it.